Christine Brennan has some words for the WNBA, and it is glorious. In fact, it gives me a extra, a little extra chuckle because she says a lot of the things I say, and I know some of y'all think I have a tendency to go over the top to make my points. But now we have appearing in USA Today of all places, Christine Brennan firing on all cylinders. And if for those of you real quick who don't remember or know who Christine Brennan is, she's the one who dared to ask Dejanay Carrington about the eye poke, the intentional eye poke of Caitlin Clark in the playoffs in 2024. And of course, the players union tried to get her fired. I mean, they couldn't actually get her fired from USA Today, but they tried to get her WNBA credentials revoked so that she would no longer be covering the WNBA. And of course, what is crazy is Christine Brennan has done more for women's sports and women's journalism than everybody involved in the WNBA in the entirety of its 30 years combined. But Christine Brennan dared go off the reservation and ask a question that they didn't want asked. And you cannot have one single differing opinion. By the way, for those of you like Jason Whitlock, there's or a certain there is a lot closer, or I should say there's the definition. There is a great example of cult-like behavior. Let me put it that way. Whereas Caitlin Clark fans actually kind of all over the map with their opinions, and they war with each other quite often, which is interesting and entertaining on its own. But let's dig into this because when I say Christine is firing on all cylinders and really fires the shots, I am not exaggerating. Let's get into this, and they need to hear this, right? Like this is wild. I want to feel like Christine Brennan has no idea who I am, but I'm gonna feel like I and some other YouTubers had some tiny small part in getting this out there because this is basically what we have been saying for years, and it is on USA Today. Okay, so that is awesome. That moves. Hey, maybe we're actually moving in the right direction. Maybe we're making an impact. Maybe we'll get something done in a positive manner. A fist to the throat. That's the picture that has immediately become part of WNBA lore. In it, Caitlin Clark, the most famous, marketable, and important women's professional team sport athlete in history, don't mince words, Christine, come on now, is being punched by Alyssa Thomas, whose earnings, fame, and way of life have all been greatly enhanced over the past couple of years by the woman she is hitting. And there you go. By the way, another example for all the people out there who want to shift the narrative and make it like Caitlin Clark fans are crazy and everything. Christine Brennan used the word punched to describe what Alyssa Thomas did. Okay. I don't know if you get more mainstream in women's sports journalism than Christine Brennan. For 3 seasons now, in ways big and small, the WNBA and its players have continued to show their unabashed jealousy, disdain, and outright hatred for the greatest thing to happen to them. Again, yeah, pretty much couldn't say it better myself. Well, I could, you know what I'm saying. The league's paltry 1 game suspension of Thomas with a tiny $1,000 fine. She makes a base salary of 1.2 million a year now, and no mention of punishment for the officials overseeing the incident barely begins to address the problem. 10 games and a fine well into 5 figures would have sent a significant message. 1 game does not. Hey, where have I heard that 10-game figure before? Oh, that's right. I said it immediately when it happened. It should have been a 10-game suspension. And yes, then I went a little hyperbolic and said banner for life because this is the 897th time Alyssa Thomas has done this. But yeah, legitimately, I said 10-game suspension. No one else is talking about suspensions. And I'm talking about the typical media, not the YouTubers. Christine Brennan is the only one I see talking about that, right? And she's making it very clear what was done, not anywhere near enough, minimum 10 games. That sends a message that we are not going to continue to have this stuff when it comes to Caitlin Clark. Clark is getting pummeled on a regular basis, and WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, who was given the greatest gift in Clark any women's sports commissioner has ever received, has done precious little about it until today, kind of, just a little, not nearly enough. What an opportunity she had to throw the book at Thomas, who has a history of dirty play, including severely injuring Minnesota Lynx star Nafisa Collier's ankle last year. Thomas also happened to knee Clark in her left groin, which was injured last season, moments before her fist ended up on Clark's neck. Christine Brennan is pulling no punches, making it very clear what is actually happening. And I got to tell you, it is refreshing to have someone in media actually repeating and saying the same things we've been saying for a long, long time because, I mean, they'll do it anyway, but it makes it just a little more ridiculous when they come at us and talk and insult us and say, "Oh, we don't know what we're talking about, and we're just fans and all this other stuff, and we're the clan." Well, here you go, folks. It does not get more distinguished in women's sports journalism than Christine Brennan. Period. Period. And I keep forgetting to even mention the fact that she's the one that injured Nafisa Collier last year. Remember that nasty ankle thing? Nafisa's still not playing. Yeah, that was Alyssa Thomas. It's always Alyssa Thomas. It is always Alyssa Thomas. And yes, she should have had the book thrown at her 100%. The hit parade against Clark started way before this, a brutal hip check from Kennedy Carter in Clark's rookie year, an eye poke from J.C. Sheldon, and a freight train of a shove from Marina Mabry last year. It's funny that I don't, she didn't even mention the Carrington eye poke, which is kind of, I say it's funny because then she's the one that asked about it, and then the players tried to take her job away from her. Cheap shots all. No one was ever suspended. Other fouls were not called. Clark argues with the refs, of course, and throws up her hands, something she has done since high school and AAU ball, and definitely overdoes it at times, although rarely is she wrong in her complaint. Fair, fair. I get it, man. She's an emotional player, and yeah, there are times when maybe she throws up her arms when it's like, okay, maybe not now. But there's so much in the other direction and so many things to talk about that I'm like, why would I even be getting on her for that? Right? Why would I mean, it's ridiculous to even spend time on it. And these people who do, they're children. They're children. I love that she had all those she's rarely she wrong in her complaint. That's kind of wild. Um, Sadly, Engelbert's history in this has been to disappear when she should rise. If you haven't seen it, I did a video with Dan Patrick commenting about how he tried to get a comment from the WNBA, but there was no one available. Which leads to the next sentence. She has avoided when she should engage. In interviews about Clark, she and Angels or and Pages when she should say what is undeniably true. It's Caitlin Clark. She's the one. No need to add other names. If we're talking TV viewership, moving to bigger arenas, sponsorships, bringing in waves of new young fans who want her autograph and will be around for the next 50 to 60 years, shoes, apparel, trading cards, you name it. No one else belongs in the same sentence. Bless you, Christine Brennan. I will have your children. I mean, she is saying everything that we have been saying since Caitlin Clark got in the WNBA. How many times have you heard me in different videos, and not just to repeat, but because we've got other examples where we have to point out and say Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. The one Christine didn't add here that we heard a lot in 2024 was Caitlin Clark and the rookie class. Right, and then we get to the next year and Paige comes out, Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers. It's absolutely wild. What is especially aggravating about Engelbert's inability to give Clark her due and keep her safe when the league desperately needs her presence for its financial future is all the possibilities the WNBA is squandering by refusing to fully embrace Clark's superstardom. Many women who grew up playing sports at the beginning of Title IX, women like Engelbert and me, dreamed of a time when a women's team sport athlete would take over the nation the way Clark has. Team sports were always strictly the domain of men. Women excelled in the Olympics, tennis, and golf. But team sports, they were not ours. So mainly soccer. And it goes on like that. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I thought this was a really important article to highlight because I mean, let's face it, one, it helps validate me a little bit. We all know how important that is. But I think it's also maybe a little bit of a shift, hopefully. in the right direction, you get an article like this. I mean, it's not like this is Christine Brennan out for the first time or changing her tune or anything like that. But I think the impact of the words she's using, because again, I read some of this stuff and I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's, the type of stuff that people say, oh, maybe you're a little over the top. And Christine Brennan is putting it out here on print in USA Today. That could be a problem for the WNBA. Uh-oh, I lost my place. Okay. Oh man, there was one other thing I wanted to mention that she triggered with something she said here, and now I'm blanking. Bear with me one second. Oh, yeah. The one thing I also wanted to mention, because you're seeing this spin a lot now, and I might do a deeper dive because there's so much about it, but now you have a lot of people spinning the narrative into, oh, they want special treatment for Caitlin Clark. Oh, they want special treatment for this one player. And what about protecting other players? And they just want, no, actually, no. I want the game called correctly. Which, yeah, also means all the dirty plays, all the cheap shots that are taken at Caitlin Clark, those players need to face consequences. They need to be tossed out of games. They need to be suspended. They need to be fined. That's what we're talking about. This would be a slightly different conversation if Alyssa Thomas had been given a flagrant two immediately and tossed out of the game like she should have. Now, there would still be conversation about the fact that not enough of that has happened, which is why this still happens to her. She's officiated incorrectly. But it's not so much about special treatment, it's about fair treatment. It's about enforcing the rules for all of the players. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the drill. I will talk to you later.